What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Dialed In. Today, we have one of my good friends, one of my Lambros, Blake. I'm going to have him, introduce himself. We'll go from there.
My name is Blake, also known as the Nutrition Narc on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you can find me, bro. That's it. I make like a lot of TikToks and videos about like health, fitness, nutrition. A lot of it focused on weight loss and kind of like just overall longevity and stuff. It's my basic.
So for anybody who doesn't know you, I guess, what are your main spaces that you are in? Not your name, but like cars, fitness, content, controversial content. Kind of describe what you feel like you do in your own words.
So I feel like most of my videos, I would say, are just on like current topics. Maybe something will happen and the government, they'll release a new like law about whatever food. I'll talk about that. Maybe Doritos will come out with a protein version of their chip. I'll talk about that. I'll try it. Maybe this company is a little suspicious about their macros. Maybe a lot of people don't believe like their calories aren't correct on their labeling. So I'll look into it. I'll check into it, stuff like that. And then I also try to take some videos and stuff about like myself and my own, quote unquote journey about where I'm at in my muscle building life. And then I guess I do have a separate car page too, just talking about cars there. So I got two separate lives, bro. I'm Hannah Montana. The best of both worlds,
I feel you on that one. So even if we weren't friends, I still genuinely love your content. Anytime I see something, I'm like, I could make a video on these Doritos, but I guarantee this one particular guy beat me to it. He has the insider information. This dude waterboarded 20 people to get these secret macros I can't find. I don't know how he got it. But yeah, even the Doritos one was like, that's cool. Blake, oh, he's already got it.
What's funny
I'm gonna go learn from him.
Someone said that to me like 5 days ago. I just got lazy and I didn't do it quick enough. But yeah, like it's just being first, honestly, is such an advantage. You know how it is. So if you can come out with that like before anyone else does, it's pretty, you're rewarded with the views and the creativity program and yada, yada, yada. So I try to be pretty quick on it. I think that's the beauty of short form content like TikToks and stuff is you can get it out, right away versus YouTube, takes a day and TV even longer. I think that's like the benefit of it. So I try to, hop on that.
Yeah, we're the same, just in two different worlds. When there's a controversial bodybuilding topic of some guy switching coaches or some guy who like, got kicked off the team, like, oh, I need to be the first one to say it. I'm like, okay, there's a new protein chocolate ball milkshake. Okay, Blake's gonna beat me to that one for sure.
Bro, same type, just different font. Yeah, we've been doing the same stuff.
All right, so we got that. So how long have you been in the fitness industry? And what did it look like in the very beginning versus maybe what type of content were you doing in the beginning versus now what's popping off? And yeah, just get a quick breakdown about that.
I would say I started, I think, April in 2022 or 2021, maybe 2021, I think. So I'm kind of on my 5th year making videos. I started on TikTok. And honestly, just one day I saw some girl make a video and she was like, oh, these are my diet hacks. It's this, zero sugar syrup. It's this barbecue sauce and it's this, chip. And I was like, I've tried all of those and they are terrible. Like I've got much better versions. I've tried the zero sugar, what is it? The Sweet Baby Ray's. That's like my favorite one. I've tried this other syrup. It's better than what she mentioned. So I basically just did like a side-by-side video. And I said, oh, I've tried this one. This is the better version. Trust me. Like this is the better version. And I did that. And honestly, the first video I ever made did really well. I think it got over like 50,000 views or something. And so just after that, I was kind of like hooked. And I think I hit 10,000 followers within a month or so. But this was, like I said, this was back in 2021 when growing on TikTok was like incredibly easy. Like I look at my content now and like that content was shit. Like besides that video, all the other ones I'd make were terrible, but they got good views and good ratios and good followers and stuff. So I kind of just got lucky in a sense at the time. Like I guess I started at the right time, of course. And because like my videos did well right away, I just kind of got really motivated and just kept going and never stopped. And I think, ever since that day, never missed a day of posting.
Do you remember your first viral video? Like, do you remember what it was or what the theme was or what it was?
I wouldn't say like viral, but I would just say my first video ever. I think it got over 50,000 views. And that, as a brand new account, like with no followers, I feel like that was really good. So it was honestly like the first one. That's the one I remember most.
Yeah. But do you remember your first, so let me word that better. Do you remember your first video that ever hit 1 million views where you're like, wow, 1 million people saw my head talking on a screen, anything like that?
I don't remember that, but I do remember, like the notifications at the bottom. I was always trying to max it out, get like the 99 plus because I check it all the time. And I could never do it. And then one day when I was at work, I like checked the lunch, my lunch break, and it said 99 plus. And I was like, I made it. And I think it took like a screenshot and I was all hyped. And that was like my viral moment, I guess. That I do remember.
Now you take your photo, you're like 99, 99, 99 every single day.
Yeah, every single day, pretty much. I don't even, open it because it's just flooded with so many things. So it's a cool feeling,
Yeah.
too. Like I was dreamed of that as a kid.
Yeah, the only reason I asked, just because my fitness coaching was pretty, like, I wouldn't say it's stagnant. I was popular in Northern California. Like, that's where I made most of my clients. I had
Hmm.
one video shopping as a competitive bodybuilder who's getting back into contest prep before I got injured a couple years ago. But regardless,
Yeah.
but yeah, I had like 4,000 views in the video. I went to sleep. I woke up and I had 1.5 million. And
No
my
way.
coaching went from like 3 inquiries a week to I was getting maybe 15 per day. And like my life
Wow.
changed forever. Just from that's why I didn't know if you ever had like that one video where like your life just changed, but it doesn't sound like you had that yet, or
I
you
would
didn't have it at
say,
all. Maybe.
yeah, maybe it's coming up. I would say, okay, like on that same similar line of thinking, at the beginning, I was with this protein company. I mean, I still am with them, called P Science, and they had like
Yep.
an affiliate program. And
Mhm.
basically, like, you post a link and you get like $10, like a $10 gift card or something
Yep.
every time someone buys protein powder, something like that. And I was like asking to be an athlete. I was like, oh, can I be an athlete? Can I be an athlete? Like, oh, not yet, not yet. Blah blah blah. We don't have spots yet. Blah blah blah. And then I think I uploaded one like recipe video about that Greg Doucette protein ice cream that you could
Yeah.
hold over your head. And it's basically a copy form of that. And I think it had like 2 million views, in a couple days. And of course, I had like my link to the protein I use there. And I think I got over like 150 orders in like a
Wow.
day or two, which was insane. That'd be insane now. And of course, after I do that, I hit them up. The P Science people are like, hey, I had this video do really well. Would you consider me to be an athlete? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll bring you on right away. Like they
you,
made
you
space
start
pretty quick.
today. You start
Yeah, they
right
made
now.
space pretty quick. So that was like I would say the time that like it kind of changed things.
Nice. And I mean, we could dive into super quick, just kind of going through it. But for people who are aspiring to be athletes like that, I remember my first supplement viral video that pretty much got me in the door with Evogen. Been with them 6 years, 7 years now. But regardless, same idea as that. I was like, hey guys, I have one of the best tasting proteins ever. It's s'mores flavor. Look, it has marshmallows in it. And I think it got 100,000 views, nothing ridiculous. But I ended up selling like $15,000 in commission or something ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, clearly, this TikTok thing is working pretty well. But yeah, I guess just any tips for anybody who's an up and coming influencer, and any general tips, whether they're bodybuilding or just talking, whatever it is.
I would say, I know a lot of people do this backwards nowadays, but I would say try to start by making like a platform first, like build up your audience and your size and your following and your views and all that kind of stuff. And then go into like the selling portion. Cause I see people nowadays, I'm sure you see it all the time when they've got like 100 followers or whatever, and they're already offering a coaching program, or they're already offering like, there was some sort of supplement company that, it's a little bit sketchy and stuff. So, and at the end of the day, like if you are that small, how many sales are you really bringing in? Probably not many. So in my
Not
opinion, your
many.
time is better spent just focusing on your content, your videos, making them better, making them more engaging, and just getting, more people to watch it. Because the more people you have to watch your stuff, the better the conversion is going to be for sales and stuff later on down the line. So I often see people put like, the cart before the horse, or whatever that boomer ass saying is. I would say just focus on making good quality videos that get a lot of views first, and then go into the monetary stuff.
So I wanted to follow up with that too. And we were
Mhm.
talking about this off camera, how I've noticed that if I post car content, I get cooked. So I just don't do it. I put it on a whole separate page. What would you say about people that, let's say, I don't know, we all go viral for different reasons. Let's say they go viral for something that's not fitness related. They have like
Mhm.
30,000 followers for that particular niche topic, and then they want to become a fitness coach or like bodybuilder. Do you think that's still the right way? Because they built the following, but those 30,000 people do not give a shit about bodybuilding per se. Yeah, so I guess that would be
Yeah.
the only thing people have asked me before. They built a following, but they built a following for like being a chocolate store. Okay, what does
Yeah.
that have to do with you like selling protein powder? It's not the same.
Yeah, I would say just honestly probably start a new page. Like it sucks to say, and it's a bummer because you built up a following. But like you said, at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about your protein powder or bodybuilding. Like you're basically starting from scratch anyways. You might as well literally start from scratch by making a new page. Because like if I make a video talking about, I don't know, maybe I'm really into books or reading. If I make a video with my 500,000 followers, no one gives a fuck about the books or reading. No one's gonna watch it. So
Yeah.
like it's just pointless posting it there. If I was really into reading, I would make a new account like I did with my car page.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'd follow up, I don't know if I'd consider a rebuttal, but I
Hmm.
think sometimes showing your other side of your personality to your main page is pretty cool. Like for example, for you, you put some like dirt biking clips or something. Like I used to love dirt biking. Like I did that. I
Yeah.
did downhill bicycle jumping, and then I also did dirt biking. Not to many people
Yeah.
know that, but like when I saw you do, it, I was like, I had no idea. I've known this guy in real life, and like I didn't know. So it was kind of cool to see, like, oh, see, he has other hobbies outside of like reviewing Doritos. Like he has other
Yeah.
hobbies, you know, maybe
That
not making your main content, but it was still cool to see, you know?
that is the end goal, obviously, is like you becoming the niche. So that's, I think, what we're all striving for is
Of course.
at the end of the day, I would love for everyone to watch my videos no matter what I post. Unfortunately, I'm not there yet. You know, there's a lot, and I get that. And like you said, there is an benefit to that for posting like the other sides of you. So you just have to be like super engaging. And that's something I still struggle with, like to this day. It's like, ooh, how much can I post about myself versus post about other topics? And it's unfortunate. I see it in my head because whenever I post about like, myself or personal journey or something, it doesn't get as many views as, if
Of
I post
course.
about Doritos. So it's always like, it's like a negative feedback thing. It's like, oh, why
Yeah.
would I post about this if it's not going to do as well as this? Even though I should do more of that, like no matter the views or no matter the likes and stuff, because that is me. And like, that's how you get people into you, is you have to share that side. So yeah, it's something I'm working on still.
Yeah, no. Well, that pretty sums up. I have nothing else to add to that. Getting to the next topic here. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess it's kind of following into what you just said, but
Mhm.
I mean, you don't compete in bodybuilding, so I guess this answer's kind of obvious. But somebody asked specifically, when you got into fitness content or like getting into posting on social media, what made you choose like the food reviewing route or like things like that instead of going the traditional bodybuilding and like coaching route? But I don't think you were ever coaching, were you?
No, never coaching. I
Okay.
would say the thing that made me choose like my little niche and stuff is because I realized like kind of pretty early on that your diet, your nutrition, and all that stuff matters so much more than the lifting, in my opinion, at least. Like you're
Of
gonna see
course.
way more benefit if you dial in your nutrition versus if you change your, bench press to a fly or something like that. And honestly, to this day, it's still like this. Like there is way more content about lifting than there is about nutrition. But it doesn't make sense to me because nutrition is the bigger portion of it. I just think it's like it's flashy. It's what people like to watch, so that's what they do. I don't know. I'm curious. So what do you think about that versus like diet nutrition versus like the actual lifting and working out?
Yeah, I've been canceled numerous times for saying this, but I still say that you are what you eat. Diet is king. You know, I'm not saying training like is not important. I would never
Hmm.
say that, but I still think the biggest determining factor is if we are in a cutting phase or a bulking phase. I think that's really important. Like if you are in a surplus and you're not training, are you really going to build that much muscle? Like I don't know if you'd really stimulate that much muscle, or at least not have enough, strength or whatever you're trying to do. Progressive overload. I know progressive overload comes in different shapes and sizes. But overall, I usually see people not progress really well if their diet is not on point. They get bloated, indigestion, or gut biomes all messed up. That's not a good thing to do in the off season. Then you stack it with people doing red in the off season, then they're cooked. But getting into
Yeah,
the cutting phase, I would say training is a little less important because now we have cardio, now we have step count, now we have calories in versus calories out. We're trying to maintain the muscle, train at least 3 days a week. So I'm a 50-50. I see both sides, but if I had to pick one, I still typically favor your diet being flawless over your training being flawless, if that makes sense. And I usually get cooked
yeah,
by the science-based lifting kids when I say that, because they said your diet doesn't matter because it's calories in versus calories out. Your training frequency, training volume, recovery matters. I'm like, well, they both matter, but if you eat
yeah.
like shit, you're gonna feel like shit,
But
But it's my
you know
opinion,
what's so funny is I've got a lot of friends who are like the science-based lifters or
of
whatever,
course.
and I hang around them every once in a while. And the only science-based thing they do is the lifting portion. They eat like shit, they sleep like shit. They're all addicted to caffeine. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, how are you guys just doing like like you were saying the small part of the equation? Like I couldn't believe it. I mean, I can believe it, but I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, we are on different
I
ends of the earth here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I have beef with the science-based community because that's not the right phrase. But it does annoy me when they say like I'm doing this correctly, but like they have no muscle. I don't think you
Yeah.
need to be buff to be smart. I know people have average physiques. I have an average physique, different reason, but like
Yeah.
you could be smart and you know have a pretty good physique if you wanted to. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like some of them have never built muscle in their life. They're just not
Yeah.
very jacked men or women. And then when it comes to coaching, they've never built someone to be super jacked and strong. So if you've never done it yourself and you can't help other people do it, how is your credibility coming from like what you're spewing to other people? I guess it's my only like critique is when I see certain people talk about you need to put your arm through the foam roller and put a cable
Yeah.
behind your head to do front. I'm like, well, okay, but did that work for your client? Did it work for you? If it didn't, why the hell we tell people to do it? That's my
Yeah.
that's my rant about that topic.
My thing is just like I just think diet matters so much more than those little tweaks. Like I just think if you were to get, whatever more micronutrients in, that would be more benefit to you than switching to like the foam roll or lat pull down over a regular one or something. That's
Yeah.
my stance.
Yeah, I think the last thing I want to add on, like, I mean, you know this, I have a particular autoimmune disease, and typical how I keep it underway is like my diet has to be flawless, right? I have to have certain things like digestion, gut biome. Like, I'm really well versed in the gut health world, right? So I'll have people come out to me or reach out to me, men, women, all different ages. Typically, older people have more issues than younger, but they're like, hey, like my training going to shit. I have brain fog. I have this. I have that. So I bring their volume down a little bit training wise. I'll clean up their diet. I'll add some more steps in, throwing some probiotics, just things to get their body running optimally. So technically, they're training less, they're doing less cardio, they're eating more food. Like, man, I feel 20 years younger. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, well, you just said you were training 17 days on, 2 days off. Like, I'm sure that probably plays a role, you know? So they
Yeah.
get so, and what I'm connecting these pieces is that they get so obsessed with what the new training phase is, the next training hype, next training volume thing, that they ignore their diet. Their water intake's a really big one. They just don't do it. Their
Mhm.
electrolyte, sodium, like they ignore everything, like you said, but then their training is flawless. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
probably why you don't feel good, you know. But that's my ramble about that.
Yeah. I got a theory. So you often hear like training stuff. I train a lot, at least like six days a week, I would say.
Yes.
Whenever you hear people say it, like, oh, you would make more progress training less. I'm always like a little hesitant on that. And at the end of the day, I think like, okay, you've probably read the studies, but how many of those studies take into account people like me who sleep 9 hours a night, who have, every part of their diet in check,
Yep.
who have like rest more than enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of those
Yeah.
studies take that into effect? Probably none of them.
No, I mean, this is one of the things I do in grad school. And even to this day, anytime one of my clients or someone says, I love reading it for myself before I take somebody else's word for it, right?
Hmm.
But I would say, like, I'm being generous here. 85% of people are just sedentary moms, dads, 18, like whatever it is. Like, they're overweight, average men and women, which is fine. That's
Hmm.
who's going to go to the study, right? Like, there's not going to be you're not going to get Mr. Olympia that's going to go stay with you for 2 months and log it. Like, he doesn't care, right? It'd be cool. Maybe one day they
Exactly.
will, but right now they don't. But yeah, it'll say like, for example, the other day it was a study on, it was training volume and cardio and like just how many fat cells, whatever people were burning over like a 6 month period. And it said the average demographic was like 5'7", 185 or something, like just a normal guy. I was like,
Yeah.
that's an overweight man. That's not a
Yeah.
bodybuilder, you know?
Yeah.
And like, obviously he lost weight because he's probably never had a stimulus before. But I guess, yeah, I don't really have too much else to add to it. But I'd say most studies are not done on bodybuilders would be the main take. Even the steroid studies they do are not done on bodybuilders. They're just done on
Yeah.
average people, you know? So that's all I could
I
say. Yeah.
I think you can find a study for like to back up any one of your arguments. Whatever stance, whatever side you have, there's a study or there's a way to read a study that makes it, support your argument. So I agree with you.
I agree. You know, they do. I don't know what a number is, but in grad school, when we had to prove like what we're talking about now, let's say we're arguing me and you about training volume. I'd have to find at least 10 articles within the past 10 years. It can't be older than that. It has to be 10 years to be credible in that world. I had to find 10 studies arguing that my point's correct. And I had to find a couple
Hmm.
studies arguing it was incorrect. I found just as many on both. So like
Yeah.
what like he's right and he's right. What am I supposed to do? That one from freaking Stanford, this one from UCLA. You can't even say one's bad, you know? So
Yeah.
yes, you can pick and
There's
choose your narrative very easy in any realm. Yes, especially fitness.
It sounds bad, but like because of that, I'm kind of getting away from this, study stuff. I'm trying to just like compare other things and see what makes sense because, like you said, you can find a study on equal studies on both sides. So I try to like put that through my own little brain filter and see which one makes the most sense to me. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I guess the only thing I'd say specifically about you is like, since you're not coaching other people, I'm not gonna say you don't have to be up to date on things, but like, there's just certain things like it just wouldn't affect unless you personally want to know everything just for the love of the game. Then like, yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's cool, but unless you guys are out there who are being competitive bodybuilders or you're coaching competitive bodybuilders, I don't think the study really matters. There's people that
Yeah,
I'm sure. I don't. Did you go to college? Did you go to a 4 year college?
I did. I got my degree in mechanical
Yeah, so
engineering.
I'm sure you met people in college that like they just drank every weekend, ate like shit, and they went to the gym a couple days a week. They still had a pretty decent physique, right? Like,
Oh
where's the
yeah,
study on that? Having a
yeah.
four
Way,
local
way
three
better
days a
than
week.
me. Way better physique than me. I know many people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. So there's just some people that they don't have to do anything. They're going to build an amazing physique. But either way, next talking point here. Let's see here. Pick one of your favorite and pick one of your least favorite protein-based snacks you reviewed.
Favorites, I would have to say I always talk about Quest chips, dude. Like the macros are unreal. I think 14 calories or 140 calories, 19 grams of protein. They taste delicious, and you can eat like a ton of them. They're so good. That's probably
Nice.
my favorite. My least favorite protein snack, I'd probably say the David bar.
Lucky for you, that was going to be the next talking point. You know, glad you brought that up. So either way, fun fact, I've never had a David bar. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Maybe it's just me. I guess just because I haven't found, and I could ask you this before we dive into David bar. Have you found protein bars, like whether you hate the brand or not, that are just macro friendly, where it would just fit your macros, even in a contest prep setting where it's minimal sugar, minimal BS, like things like, have you found a couple like that? Or would you say most protein bars just don't even stand close to like a whey isolate pure protein, if that makes sense?
So as far as like macros go, yeah, David is kind of like the only one that has that sort of like profile and those sort of
Mhm.
ratios because of the EPG, the ingredient they have. So like
Yes.
the closest other one I could find is maybe the Legendary Foods has donuts, and those are 160 calories, 20 grams of protein. And that's still
Oh,
not even
that
close to what David's able to produce with theirs. And it's just because they have a technological advantage over every single other company out there. I'm trying to think.
can you
It
tell
like
us
I mean,
the protein to calorie ratio on the David bar, if you recall?
I think it's 150 calories, 28 grams of protein.
Wow. Okay.
So
It's,
it's,
it's
like you said, it's
it
really
beats the other
close
ones
to
by a large margin.
by a large margin, which is where like we're arguing as well in our like lawsuit is they kind of have like a monopoly over that sort of category.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, even I only know what you've told me, what I've seen like
Mhm.
in random clip, but give us a quick 60-second breakdown of how
Yeah.
it started, how you guys have beef, and maybe potentially what the outcome could be,
Mhm.
whether it's good or bad. I guess kind of ramble on for about a minute here.
Yeah. Might be longer than 60 seconds, but
Oh no,
basically
we got time. Feel free.
a couple of years ago, I got the idea that I wanted to make some sort of like low calorie product myself, either, low calorie or high protein or both, because I've reviewed so many. I think it's such a great like business opportunity. My followers would love it. It's kind of what I like practice and what I preach on my page. So I started looking at different avenues of what I want to do. Obviously, like millions of companies have made protein bars. They're a dime a dozen. I wanted to do something a little different. So I ended on the idea of making like a low calorie sauce company. And I was going to start with a low calorie Chick-fil-A sauce because in my opinion that's like my favorite
Nice.
sauce ever. It's delicious. Everyone loves it. It's and there is no other low calorie version. I mean, when I started this process, there was no other low calorie version of it on sale at the time. So I got, contacted with some companies and with like a co-packer and then a research and development facility. And I had them, obviously produce it for me. And I was making they're making prototypes for me. And throughout that process, I wanted to get more flavor for less calories. And at the time, I had known about this EPG stuff. It's basically a 0 calorie fat for a while now. So I contacted, the EPG company. I was like, hey, would this maybe work in a sauce? Like, I'm working on this, blah, blah, blah. And they said, yes, of course. So we started, making it into my sauce. We used the 0 calorie fat, which would add a ton of richness and mouthfeel without any calories, which is like a gigantic benefit. Like, if you've ever had a product with EPG, like how much of a difference it makes either when it comes to flavor or macros like the David bars. So I knew I was going to have like the best tasting, lowest calorie product out there because I was literally using something not many other companies were using and no other sauce companies were. Anyway, so like I was right about to, I finally got a sauce that I was happy with and I really liked and was like ready to go live with and, start a production run. I think I was going to do 15,000 bottles or something. So I was trying to go like all in. I'd put a ton of money into it. And like a week later or so after I found like the prototype I really liked, I got an email from like the people at EPG basically saying we've been bought out by the David Bar company. They are, now the owners of the company at EPG, and you guys are cut off. We're not going to allow anyone else to use it but the David Bar people because they own it now, blah,
Wow.
blah, blah. And obviously that's very upsetting. I've been working on this for like a year and a half at the time. I was ready to go live. Like I finally got something I was happy with, and now I can't come out with anything. And it's not just upsetting for me. Like I'm not the only person that was using it. There was a couple other companies that were using it as well that I had contact with just because I was friends with them. I was they had helped me with formulation with EPGs just because they were nice people. And I
Of
was so
course.
curious about this. So we had become friends over the years. And I obviously told them about this. They knew. And so we kind of like teamed up after that. And then we got in on a lawsuit, basically stating that like, oh, this is kind of like unfair practices. Like you can't just be the only person that has this ingredient. You can only sell it to yourself, yada, yada, yada. And it's unfortunate for me. Obviously, I never got to come out with my product, but it's even worse for these other people because, their fathers, their parents, their, husbands and wives. And this was like their livelihood as their company relied on this single ingredient, to make their product. And now, they can't do it. They had a warehouse where they were producing it is, just stagnant. They aren't, just sitting there. But so it's unfortunate, it's extremely unfortunate. And so we all teamed up together and we got together on a lawsuit, and that's been going for 8 months now, 9 months now or so. And we're basically just trying to argue the fact that they kind of have a monopoly on this ingredient, and they're the only ones that are able to produce ultra high protein bars and stuff because of their ingredient. And my whole plan all along was to start with a sauce, then come out with other stuff,
Of
like an
course.
EPG protein bar. That was my thing, and like everything, because I saw the power in the ingredient, and I saw how much difference it made when it came to taste, flavor, and macros. And I wanted, I thought it was a great idea to start like a company with that stuff. So that's kind of where we sit now. We're just kind of in litigation and hoping for the best. But yeah, it's been a long process, obviously, and it's probably just getting started. Like it's probably going to last years and years.
As someone who's successfully sued a couple people in my lifetime for them stealing
Ooh,
things like books or things, regardless, right? Doesn't matter what it's for.
yeah.
I can promise you it does take a little bit of time. Unless you have a very clear, like, he did this to me, he harmed me, she harmed me, he stole this. It's going to take a while, unfortunately. But hopefully at the end, the outcome will be in your favor. The only thing I could think of, maybe if there was a little bit of I'm guessing here, by the way, but maybe if there was
Mhm.
some type of leeway where they're like, hey, Blake, you can have it, but you can never use it in a protein bar. We're the only ones that use it in a protein bar. You could use it in your sauce, whatever. Would you be satisfied with that solution, or would you be like, I still want to be able to use it on whatever I want to?
Eh, I don't know, like, exactly. I have to be very careful about, like, what I say here, so I'm not
No, of course.
exactly sure
Got it,
what
got it,
I
got
would
it.
think about that, but, that we are hoping to, get access to it at some point. I know I've heard that they want my sauce to come out, I think their actions speak a little differently from that, but, I don't know. I would love to have access to it in any capacity. If they gave
Yeah,
it to me for a sauce, I'd start it up tomorrow. I could have that production run right now. So if they want to be
yeah.
generous.
So you don't have to answer this, by the way, but
Mhm.
did you ever personally talk to someone at David to have this conversation, or was it never like they never even gave you a chance?
No, it was never a chance. Like, so we basically, because I contacted the people at EPG because they were the ones who had the ingredient. Obviously, I didn't know David was coming in, third party swooping. And like the day basically they said we are all cut off. I think I said, "Oh, can I place like one last order or something?" And they said no. And that was kind of
Wow.
it. And after that, it obviously, like, we knew we were going to take the legal route, so we just put it in like the lawyer's hands and the court's hands. So, no, I've never had any contact with David about that. There's a lot of people who like will reach out to them, like my followers will reach
Yeah.
out, be like, "What's up with this?" or whatever, and they always have like different responses on their Instagram, or one of their interns running their social media
You
always
know
has
what,
like
bro?
a different
I'm
response
gonna
and
I'm
stuff.
gonna go call them later, bro. What's going
Funny
on with
stuff.
this, man? Chick-fil-A sauce is my favorite, and now we can't make it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's been other creators. There's another creator who came out with one. It tasted really good. It tasted good. It did not taste like Chick-fil-A sauce, in my opinion. And it was, I think, 85 calories, and mine would have been 30. So, less
30
than
calories.
half.
Wow.
Yeah.
It
And
would have been up
I'm
there
a,
with like the G Hughes and the Kinders, all the top dogs at that low.
exactly, like, that's why I was, obviously my whole page is like macros, calories, stuff like that. So I was trying to, practice what I preach, and I was going to do anything it took to come out with the best tasting products at the lowest calories. And I felt like I was almost there.
Well, I hope that goes well.
Mhm.
It's I got a couple legal people. I could always get a second opinion if I ever need some help. So we'll talk about that
Mm.
off camera. But nonetheless, all right. Anything else you want to add on to the David Bar aspect?
Um, Not really. It's super discouraging, bro. It's just like, so unfortunate. Cause this was all self funded. I spent probably 40 grand of my own money. Haven't got a single dollar of that back yet. So it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
that sucks.
I
But
didn't want to be nosy and ask you how much you spent, but
oh,
in
you're
my
fine.
head I was thinking at least 20K. But
Yeah,
to hear 40 is even more discouraging.
yeah, and it's very, very discouraging. Yet haven't got any of the money back yet. Hopefully, maybe I can get some of it back at some point. But like you said, you know how the legal stuff is. It's super slow, and because
Yes.
it's been very slow in the last couple months, I think I'm gonna try to move on to something else. Not like completely
Yeah.
like give up on this, but in the meantime, while this is going on, I think I'm gonna try to, think of something else I can do. So
So
hopefully I can figure something else out.
might be a dumb question because I don't know macro friendly
Mhm.
sauces like that. But so I understand this one ingredient was life changing, like it's the king ingredient. There's nothing else out there that you could have let's say it was going to be 30 calories serving that could make it 65 or 80. Like is there something you could make it where it's a little bit higher and you could have in the meantime be 1.0 and then you got the Blake secret sauce 2.0 later? Is that a
Yeah, well, yeah, I
possibility or
can
is that
just
not a
add.
possibility?
I could just add real fat, obviously, to it, and it would be the same flavor and stuff. But like you know how
Ah,
fat's the most calorie dense thing, so it would just,
yeah,
like you said, add a ton of calories.
yeah.
And I've obviously thought about that, and I just don't think it's something I'm willing to compromise on because I've made such like a stance on low calorie stuff. So it'd kind of be in a way like going against what I believe in, and I'm not
Understood.
willing to do that because I made, like, especially while I was making the sauce, I made such a point out of lowering the calories at all point, at every point possible. And
Of course.
I've thought about that, of course. It's just I don't think that's the route I want to go down at this moment. Maybe my mind will change in the future, but that's just my current
Of course.
stance.
Yeah, I was just asking just because I know like no one's gonna judge you personally. I mean, there's gonna be a couple people, but no one's gonna
Yeah.
be like, man, screw this guy selling a shitty sauce. But like we all know even if we don't know everything, now we know, but even if we don't know everything, we know like there was legal issue we're dealing with a particular ingredient. So I'm sure if you dropped a 75 calorie seasoning or sauce, like I think
Mhm.
some people would be understanding of, they may not buy it if it's 150 calories. They'd be like, no, Blake, probably not. But if you somehow found a
Yeah.
way to get some under 100, you'd be pretty competitive on the market. But
Yeah.
this is my outside
You're,
opinion, of course.
you're right. And like that'd probably be the most financially beneficial way to go. But I've got such like an ego where I just want to make it like perfect. And
I feel
I'm
you.
not willing to come out with something unless I'm like a wholehearted believer, and it's not, and if it has to be something I would buy myself. So
Gotcha.
the day will come where that happens. Just
Yeah,
I don't know
I
when.
can't judge you because I'm the same way. You're probably the first one. You guys are probably the first one to hear this until I announce it in a couple weeks. But there's a particular supplement line I've been working on. It's called Dialed In Nutrition or Dialed In, whatever it's going to be called, Dialed In Health. But it's
Mhm.
the same logic. I could have launched this months ago. But like once you find the formula you want, once you want to get the patent ingredients, like it takes forever to do it. So I'm going to have
Mhm.
the purest, no filler detox things for your kidneys, liver, prostate, all that. So like it's something I've been working on. Haven't told anybody about because it's almost ready to launch soon. But it's like you're like, oh hey Kodi, by the way, this ingredient like it's not easy to get. It's going to cost you an extra dollar. Okay, well that's what I asked for. Like if I said I
Yeah.
want it, I'm willing to buy it for an extra dollar a bottle. Little things like that. So I can't judge you, man. I understand. When you want
The
something
only
done, you want to do it right. It's your money, it's your
yeah.
ego, it's your reputation on the line. So I understand entirely.
You only have one opportunity to make a first impression or whatever they say. So
Yep.
and I think too, also in the current like day and age, everyone is going the opposite. Everyone is going the cheapest route. Everyone is going the
Yes.
easiest way to make money. I think there's a lot of there's a lot to say about someone who or a company that does the opposite. I mean, you probably hear people complain about private equity all the time. They'll take over a company and then they just eke out every last bit of profit, and
Yes.
the quality of the product gets worse and blah, 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 blah. And I'm trying to be like
Chipotle.
the opposite of that. Yeah, Chipotle, exactly. Like,
Chipotle.
everyone hates Chipotle now. I'm trying to be the opposite of that.
Nice. All right. 2027, bro. We're opening our own, Chipotle 2.0 with your secret sauce and with my secret vitamins. It's going to be a high
Let's do it.
protein, high vitamin Chipotle.
We're gonna be rich.
Oh, man. All right. Cool. So, this wasn't on the list of questions, but I had one question kind of popped in my head. So,
Mhm.
this is something I do with my own clients. How do you feel about like the clean food ratio? I'm talking about chicken, steak, potato, like high quality clean food, dense food, I guess you could say, versus like the protein snacks. Have you noticed ever having any stomach issues, digestion issues, bloating? Because like sometimes they have to put fillers in it. They have to put things to make it taste good. You can't have a 20 gram of protein chip and have it taste like a Dorito. Doesn't exist, right? So have you ever
Mhm.
noticed like issues with you or somebody else having really high quality food? They start switching over to getting all their protein from protein chips, protein bars, you get what I'm saying? You ever
Yeah.
notice anything of like protein snacks versus whole foods ever being really negative? Anything at all
Yeah.
with that?
So I would say I could really only speak for myself, obviously, because I've only ever lived in my own body. And
Of
I'm
course.
the worst person to ask because I have an iron stomach. Like I can eat
Mm,
whatever, I can do whatever, and I never have any issues. So I've never once had any issue with a protein snack or chip or something. But I think I read something the other day where it said that everyone's gut microbiome is different. So we all have like
yes.
different,
100%.
stomachs and sensitivities and stuff like that. So in allergies. So what may be perfectly fine for me might not be fine for you or someone else. So it's really tough. I don't think you can really speak in absolutes because
Of
everyone has
course.
a different experience. Like some people have sensitivity to sweeteners. Bro, I'll drink that shit all day long. No issue, no big deal. Some people have a sensitivity to like gums, like xanthan gum or one of those.
Yeah.
Again, no issue here. I don't notice a single difference between eating Whole Foods or whatever and protein chips. But that's just me.
Of course. Yeah. No, I was curious if you had any insight about that because I know, like, obviously having a piece of chicken breast and having a protein bar, like they may have the same calories, but like, are they going to hit you the same? Didn't know if you had any insight. But okay, got it.
I don't know if you've ever had if you had a girlfriend or whatever, but girls always their stomach always has issues. Like I have a girlfriend, no matter what she eats, it's always upsetting her. You know,
yes.
I'm like we eat the same thing.
I typically only date gym girls, so it's usually a little bit easier. You know, throw them on a probiotic, throw them on a digestive enzyme. But I would say some of the women I've dated, they'll have like Starbucks for breakfast, like a caramel macchiato. I'm like, that's why your stomach hurts. Okay, you're on a diuretic, some type of crapping serum here, like you're gonna have stomach issues, you know. So I think it depends on their choices in the morning for sure. Absolutely.
They have 200 milligrams of caffeine on an empty stomach, and then they complain about being anxious. It's like, well, I have an idea.
I don't know what that's from. Don't know what that's from now. All right. This is a good question here. Have you ever had a company try to influence you to leave reviews on their product that were good, and you were like, no, even if they offered you a shit ton of money? Because I mean, obviously, I'm sure like some of them paid to leave reviews, and you could still be honest about it. But has anybody? Let me word that better. Have someone ever paid you for a review, and then like you're like, I don't want to leave this review. It's shitty. Like it's gonna roast your guys' company. You know, like has that ever happened where they try to force you to leave a good review?
I would say no company. Well, I don't take money for reviews in the first place. Like here's how it works. So I'll try a bunch of different products, whatever. Like it's really easy for companies to send me stuff. I get stuff all the time. And what'll happen is if I like it, then I'll reach out and be like, hey, do you guys want to work together? I really loved your product. But it'll never be like the inverse way around. They're never going to pay me for a video if I've never tried the product before. So that specifically hasn't happened. But since a lot of companies send me products, I had one company a while back. It was in like their pre-production phase. I was gonna do a video on it. It was like this protein gel. It was like kind of very convenient, 20 grams, blah, blah, blah. And I tried it and it was terrible. It was off. It was like the worst tasting thing I've ever had. And I hit up the lady. I was like, hey, since this is a pre-production product, like this isn't the finished one, I'm not gonna post this because it's just ripping you apart. Like you're a nice person, you've helped me out. Like I'm just not gonna post it because like it's not a finished product. So like it wouldn't be entirely fair for me to do that. That's like the only scenario I can think when it comes to something like that. I try to keep it real, like honest and like legit. Like if I don't like something, I'll say it. But that was the one time I was like, I don't even want to bother.
Would you say that most people have that mindset, or would you say the average person? Now, I'm not talking about like getting a supplement sponsor, like someone being with, Rise, even not like that. We already know they're sponsored. But when you see people who consistently do reviews like you, do you think that they have your same mindset? Do you think they are getting paid to lead those reviews?
I think definitely, I'd say on average, the latter. Like people are so desperate, rightfully so. I'm not knocking anyone, but people are so desperate for money that they will do anything, even if it means like compromising their morals for a couple, bucks or whatever it may be. So I know a ton of people who've like taken money. I watched a video the other day where he's like, hey guys, like this company just sponsored me. I can't wait to try the product. I'm like,
how are you already sponsored?
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm going to try it later in a video, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's just like clown shit. I don't know. It's just goofy stuff. And with like so many people like that, I feel like that's why I'm trying to be different and like differentiate myself is be, honest. And it's crazy, that this is a rare take in a rare just like position to be in where you can be honest. And luckily, like I don't need, whatever a company is offering, like it's not going to change my life. Like I can easily turn down a couple $1,000 and it's not a big deal. Like I would much rather keep my reputation and be honest than make a couple extra $1,000 a month.
Yeah. So I want to lead into that really quick. I want to give two scenarios. So one, I've coached a lot of people. So like I've had influencers. You have like 500,000 followers, I think, somewhere around there. I've worked with people who've had like 5-6 million, right? And like, I don't know everything about them, but like sometimes I'll ask them like, oh, hey, I saw you post that bullshit ab stretching thing. I was like, how much you get for these? He's like, oh, I get royalties for up to 1 year and I get commission, blah, 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 royalties and commission. I also got a check for $50,000.
Oh shit.
All right. I see why you sold out. I'm not saying I would do that. You guys just post about some random ab roller, just mind your business. But $50,000, like, okay, I see why you did that. But when someone's like, oh yeah, they paid me $100, like they paid you $100 for you to sell yourself out. That's insane. I'm not saying money buys, ego, I'm saying, but it's just crazy to see it. Some of these, like some of you guys influencers that have millions of followers, like they're willing to sell their soul for $10,000, $20,000 or something that could hurt you,
Yeah.
I mean, all I can say about that.
You see it every single day with the rise in like gambling content and everyone like is speaking of like selling your soul. And it sucks because like before all this, I like to gamble. Like I'll go to the casino, I'll play blackjack for fun. and it's like a good time. But then like something about just like the how much money these people are making is just absurd. Like I had a friend, a social media friend, he has maybe around like 800,000 followers or something. I don't know. And he made a video and he talked about, like he didn't even mention that the video was sponsored. He just, mentioned a quick little clip about one of the gambling places and he got paid like 10 grand to do so. And it was no more than, I swear, no more than 5 seconds in the video. And you would have no idea it's like a promoted, like it was sponsored by gambling. And I was like, oh my, if like this guy's making that, I can't imagine what all the other people are making. And
I only
I
have
asked,
one. I only have
go
one
ahead.
guy I could tell you, and it's his contract is 35,000 a month guaranteed.
No way. How like
Yeah,
what's a size like range for like
his
followers?
following. He doesn't have a million, maybe like high sevens, low eights,
Okay.
somewhere around there. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
close to a million.
Yeah,
But
that's I
like his
mean,
content is all over the place. It's not like he's like a bodybuilder that he's just all over the place, just random. Almost like a Steve will do it type person. His content is
got you.
all over the place, right? But yeah, he has that, and then he'll have random alcohol sponsorships, and that'll pay him 10K a month. And like all he has to do is whatever his normal day to life streaming content is, he just has to mention it. So like, let's say he's gonna go do a prank video or something stupid. He'd be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, sponsored by," I can't say the company, but you know who it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Sponsored by this. And like
Yeah.
that's one of his like 4 videos for the month, even though it took him 7 seconds to say that. Oh, let me
It's
click the ducky. Oh, I'm cashing out. Oh, I shouldn't cash out,
yeah.
guys.
It's
And
unfortunate, but I don't think like because it's so much money and so easy, like I almost don't even blame these people. I almost
oh,
don't
of
even,
course.
blame the influencers. It's almost like it should be a like government thing. Like I think we just need to not do so much gambling shit. Like, bro, like there should be some sort of crackdown. It shouldn't be in every single aspect of our life. Maybe it should be like, cigarettes where they can't advertise or something. But I'm sure
Of course.
someone who's addicted to sports betting or
Oh yeah.
somehow gambling. And it's becoming more and more common. And I honestly think it's just gonna get worse. And like I'm all for like people are free to do what they want, blah blah blah.
Of
But
course.
this might be just a negative. We might just have to cut this out, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
so
don't, I don't,
bad.
I don't know where it came from either. Like it's been what like in terms of it being like everywhere, maybe 2 years. You think year and a half, 2 years? Like it's
A little.
relatively new with it being everywhere, like consistent daily though.
I think what it was is I watched that video on this a while back. I think they changed some sort of law back in like
Mm,
2017 or 18 that
mhm.
allowed sports betting in all 50 states or something like that.
I
So
mean, it
it's
makes
basically a
sense.
regulation change. And after that, everything just, that's where like the DraftKings, the prize picks, that's where
Yeah.
those got huge. I'm not sure if that qualifies. I'm not sure if that law is the same for like the stake and stuff. Maybe that's something different. But as far as the sports betting, I know it's because there was some regulation change, and maybe we should roll that back. Maybe we should.
Whatever
Maybe
we
we should
had,
do that.
we have day trading and we have sports betting. Everybody's just throwing their money out the window.
Yeah. Well, do you watch the Super Bowl? Everything was like AI, GOP, sports betting. Like it
Yeah,
was just the
the
same like
same
four.
five things. Yes, yeah. They tried. I knew the Hims and Hers commercial was gonna hit hard. I know that they have a lot of money. I was like, that
Yeah.
was a really good commercial. I don't agree with it, but I was like, man,
Yeah.
like they knew how to like tug at people's like emotions. Like, are you
Like
feeling shitty? Are you overweight? Are you just not motivated? I was like, I knew it was coming. I knew they were gonna do something where like the average person be like, damn, I'm overweight. I'm depressed. I need this
yeah.
random shot. And then we got Serena
Yeah.
Williams pops out. All right, cool. Put in your arm. I'm like, oh my god, man, it's crazy.
Got people talking, but if I had to choose between gambling and that, I'll take GOPs all day. Like at least that's
Oh yeah,
improving some people's life.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Red is taking over. Right, that's all I can
Yeah.
say. As long as you pass the trials, we're good. All right.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Where do you got that? I just asked you about that. What would be the biggest deal you've ever turned down? Whether it's
Ooh.
a collaboration money wise, whether it's collaboration with stocks, whatever it is. You don't have to say the brand, obviously, but maybe like what the type of product was. I have one in mind too.
I'm trying to think. So I wouldn't say one singular deal, but I get deals brought to me all the time where it's, like some greens powder or some this will pay, 5 to 10 grand for a poster, maybe a story. And it's like, dude, I don't even take this. Like and like stuff like that is really easy for me to turn down. I don't know why, because it's like it's not like life-changing money, and I just don't even like if I took that, that would immediately be like selling out. Everyone would realize it instantly because I've talked shit about it a ton of times. The
Yep.
ones that are a bummer that I have to turn down, or every once in a while I'll get a deal that'll come to me, for the same amount of money, similar amount of money, but it'll be, a protein powder company or a supplement. And I was like, oh, I already work with, people that do supplements and pre-workout. Like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
that would be infringing on, territory and stuff. And they've been so good to me. And I'm such a believer in like the companies that I'm with that I just have to turn it down.
Would you review products for free though if you got it like that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I have no problem reviewing competing sponsors for free at all. Like I'll do that all day long. I just won't take money for it.
All right, Blake, here's $5,000.
Yeah.
You dialed in there.
I'll
It's not
gladly
protein,
review
so it's
stuff.
okay.
Oh yeah, if you do whatever, I'll gladly review it and give it
Yeah,
an
of
honest
course.
thing.
Yeah,
Throw it on my
I was
story,
joking
whatever.
about that, but yeah, no, I'm sure. And what I wanted to bring up too, like as you know, like I come in contact with so many people in a different way than you, because like yes, I'm their friend, but like I still coach them. I have some authority over them, and it's always so awkward. And they'll be like, "Hey, bro, like I'll pay you $3,000 to post this." And I was like, "I can't do that." They're like, "Do you want more?" I was like, "Well, no, I just don't believe in it." Like there's certain things I really like. I like cars, protein, and certain peptides I really love. Like those are the only things I like. I can't really just post this random like protein. Well, it was like protein M&Ms or something. And I was like, that's cool. Like, I'll test them for you, but like, I'm not gonna do a video on this. And then I tested and they were dog shit. I was like, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like anybody who posts this, like they're lying to you. I'm probably the first one to tell you this is a really bad idea. In theory, it's a good idea, but it tastes really bad. And he's like, man, everybody else told me it was good. Like, because you paid them. Of course they're gonna tell you it's good, or they're not your real friend. You don't want to be surrounded by yes men and yes women. It's a terrible thing to be around.
It's a tough situation to be in. That's what I'm worried about too, especially when I was developing my sauce, because I would send this to my friends. I'm like, dude, please be honest with me. Like, if you just glaze me and tell me it's good, like that is not helping me. That is actively hurting me. Tell me, be honest with me. Tell me stuff I need to fix, because this is going to help me later on down the road to create a better product. Like I do not care. Like, don't hurt. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Just be honest with me, please. It's tough because people are such people pleasers and just want to be like, oh, it's good. Oh, it's great. Yeah.
I'm blessed that my immediate friend group, we had a conversation about this the other day, how like we have different backgrounds. I'm fitness, he's finance. Like my friend group has nothing to do with each other at all. They're just all buff. But long story short, they brought an idea and I was like, that's a really terrible idea. Like, who told you this was cool? He's like, well, my girlfriend said it was good. My mom said it was good. I was like, those are two women that love you unconditionally, So he asked us, it was like 3 thumbs down. I was like, no, bro, like you should have came to us first before you got to the later stages, So like when I gave them my idea, some of the products I'm working on, they're like, that's pretty good. Like they would tell me if it was shitty, like it's a pretty basic formula, but like I brought them ideas. They're like, no, that's terrible. Perfect. That's the kind of friendship you want,
Yeah. Every once in a while, I will see a product and I'll be like, how the fuck did this get this far? This is a terrible idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this isn't even that bad of an idea. But if I was one of their friends, I would say something. So I remember one of the creators, like he was big 4 years ago. He came out with like caffeine gummies. I'm like, okay, they like how popular are these going to be? Obviously, it went nowhere. He spent like 60 grand, like blah blah blah. Okay, caffeine Listerine strips. No, I know. Like how do these people come out with these ideas? We've already perfected the caffeine consumption method, and it's an energy drink. Cut it out. We don't need anything else. Like it's okay.
What about the what was it? I keep saying I'm not interested. I keep getting the goddamn ad every day. It's the creatine gummy. And it's this light-skinned black guy, and he takes gummies and shoves them in his mouth. He's eating 30. I was like, I keep saying I'm not interested. And every 2 days, I get this dude just eating like hundreds of creatine gummies. It's like, why the hell is there creatine gummy bears? It's like half a gram per thing. You have to have 30 of them to get 5 grams. And then you have like 20 grams of sugar. That makes no sense.
I could see that. At least that is something people eat and would enjoy, because creatine is not like an enjoyable, like let's say you buy unflavored creatine, it's not enjoyable to consume. So a creatine gummy, would be enjoyable to consume versus caffeine. We already have an enjoyable version of it. It's, coffee or energy drinks. It's already delicious. We don't need it's very tough to improve on that,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, when you're comparing it to that, I agree. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking of just random products. You're talking about we have something that's perfect and we're trying to reinvent it. Why would you do that?
There's a million of those. I'd have to look in my cabinet and see just what. Like, okay, the Dr. Mike Israetel, the protein shots. They're god awful. They're disgusting. I don't see anyone buying
5
them.
hour. I've seen them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it like 5 hour?
It's like a 5 hour energy thing.
Okay.
The only possible use case I find for them is when I'm flying. You can take them, they're TSA approved. Other than that, a Fairlife is cheaper and it's better for the same macros. Like and you can get them at every store in America pretty much. I just don't understand. Like, how did it get this far? Like, this is your genius idea. Literally, it's called the genius shot. Like, if I was his friend, I'd be like, bro, we're not coming live with this shit. Like, no one's buying this.
I think it's just, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but there's sometimes I just have an idea and I just run with it, but I get opinion before I get to the step that I'm at now, right? But sometimes you have an idea like, this is genius. You ask your 5 friends and all of them are like, hell yeah, bro, you have 700 million followers. Everybody's going to buy it. And then you drop in the market and you're like, this is terrible. Why didn't you tell me this was terrible before I launched it?
So let's say you want a to-go protein something. What are you choosing?
Just in general?
Yeah, like your preference right now.
Protein shake, protein bar, whatever I can get my hands on. Yeah.
Are you talking about like a scoop in a blender bottle, or like
if I'm about to go get on a plane, I would probably grab a shaker cup, put powder in it, get inside the airplane, put water, and then mix it. If I had to be like perfect, but if I'm in a rush, no, I'm going to the gas station. I'm getting a random protein shake, drinking on the way to the gas station.
Exactly. You like the taste of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. Exactly. There's no need for this protein shot. It's disgusting. It's like cough medicine, literally.
What about the chicken breast in a bag? What about that one?
I don't mind that one as much. I've actually had that. They've sent it to me. It's a great chicken breast. It's delicious. Like, I kind of like that because sometimes I'm kind of over sweet stuff. Sometimes I don't want, a protein bar. Sometimes I want something savory and salty, and it's just chicken. Who doesn't like chicken?
Right? Yeah. No, I was going to ask you about that too, because I know you review things. I was like, did you ever review the chicken? Because I get ads for it sometimes, like chicken on the go. It's like, is that just chicken breast in the bag? That's it. How could you mess that up?
It sounds weird, but it's actually good. I'm kind of a fan of it. The only thing is they're pretty expensive and understandable. So that's the only deterrent. But tried many of them. He sent me a bunch of them. I ate them all. It's good. It's chicken, bro. Do you like chicken or not?
There's always room in a world for a new product. Whether it sells really well or not. I mean, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
I actually think it does so well. The biggest issue with something like that is obviously like taking it in your car for many hours. I don't know how many people would be comfortable like that. That's a tough sell, a product that needs to be refrigerated. That just adds so much complexity and expense.
Cool. So I have a couple more topics I want to finish up on. We talked about this briefly off camera, but as you know, I've been previously enhanced. I still blast peptides and nootropics personally, but I guess just in a world full of people that are on steroids, peptides, probably the hottest thing in the world right now is peptides and just random drug GLP-1s. What has made you not want to do it? And to confirm, you've never done anything that was enhanced in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, never anything enhanced, nothing. Literally, like, creatine is the most I've taken. The thing that keeps me from doing it is just, it's not my whole life. Like, bodybuilding, I'm not even a bodybuilder. Like, working out and lifting is not my entire life. I have so many other hobbies. I have so many other interests. And I don't have my self-worth wrapped up in my physique and how big I am. I'd love to be bigger, yes, but I'm not willing to make those sacrifices of, taking steroids or other things to make that happen. And I also think too, like, because so many people are going the opposite, like, everyone is taking something, that I kind of want to be a sort of good influence in a way. I kind of want to be a role model, that it doesn't matter that much. Like, you don't have to do all this stuff. Because everyone wants the easy way out. I will say though, like, peptides are obviously coming up. I wouldn't say I would never take them in the future, because they definitely seem like there are almost no side effects to a lot of them. So I mean, that's such a new thing. I could see myself taking a peptide sometime in the future, but at this point, just want to be, it's not that bad. It's not that bad being natural, bro. I live a fine, great life.
Yeah. So I obviously I'm biased. I own a peptide company, but outside of being biased, regardless of that, I did my first bodybuilding show naturally, got my ass kicked, got 5 out of 10. I thankfully was a hyper responder. I hopped on gear and I went from getting 5th out of 10 to winning 5 shows in a row with 2 overall. So like, just doing a little bit of steroids skyrocketed me across everybody else in terms of genetics, right? But lab work messed up, liver, kidney, cholesterol, blood pressure, like all these things that I was just overlooking because I was winning is a really terrible idea. And I know you've never competed in a bodybuilding show, correct? Yeah. When you have a goal that that like everybody's going to be on you, I was sponsored at the time, getting paid to compete, and like my health was secondary. So I guess I'm just a little bit biased when things. I'm like, guys, I met hundreds of people I competed against. Out of those hundreds, probably 3 of them compete 5 years later. Like, no one competes very long unless you're Mr. Olympia, and that's very few people. So getting into the peptide world, though, I've always been passionate about it. I started taking them 2017. Most of the healing ones too. Break a leg, break an arm, tear something. You take something that just magically heals your body in 8 weeks. Like, it's very much mind blowing to me. I get how they work, but it's still very shocking. Now, is there side effects? You said there's not many that you've seen. There is some genuine side effects. The main ones being insulin resistance. That is a real one, meaning you are almost turning yourself diabetic. Excuse me, turning yourself diabetic. That's a real one. Water retention, blood pressure can go up. Some people, I do love Retta. It's changed the entire world forever, but I've seen people that crash their thyroid. They get anxiety, panic attacks, high resting heart rate. Like, they all have some type of side effect. Do I think that they are safer than steroids? 1,000,000% yes. But yeah, when people are like, hey man, go take this brand new CJC with this, has no side effects. I'm like, that's literally not true. Like, everything has side effect. But for you, if you're ever going to touch the waters, I would probably go peptides over steroids. You're not going to shut your balls off, is the long story short. If you were going to go down that road, you could build an amazing physique naturally.
Yeah, and that's like the one that would be most tempting for me is the healing one. Like, if I ever got injured, I hate
That's
sitting
amazing.
around. Like, I hate being injured, not being able to work out or be active, or go play pickleball. I play a lot of pickleball, so that would be the most tempting one for me. But at this point, like, I'm perfectly healthy, and that's the most important thing. I know, isn't it crazy? Like, a health fitness influencer, health is the important thing. Like, that's such a rarity nowadays. But that's the most important thing to me. So I'm gonna try to always put that at like the forefront. And just, like you said, I've never competed in a bodybuilding show. I don't really have any plans to. Like, size isn't the most important thing to me. I'm perfectly happy with how I look. I'm very confident in myself. And like I said, my health is like most important, and I don't want to jeopardize that for, some exercise. Even though
would you ever compete? Sorry to interrupt you, but just because you said it, like, would you ever compete? I know, like, you're not going to be a pro, but like, would you ever be like, hey, 2026, I just want to do this one time. I want to document it, show you guys what it's truly like to be a bodybuilder, having flexible dieting, or like having protein. Like, you could have such an off the wall, like, transformation covering all your I don't know. It just kind of clicked in my head. That'd be kind of cool to see.
I've thought about it specifically for like a content series or like a video series. For sure, but I don't. You know how dieting sucks, dude. Like,
Oh,
dieting
of
is
course.
so terrible. Like, I try to make it as easy as possible. I feel like, at this point, I've cut weight probably at least half a dozen times. It sucks
Yeah, of
every time. Like, I'm just not 100% myself. And I love being 100% myself. Like, when
course.
your sleep starts to suffer, that sucks. When you have low energy, when you don't get enjoyment out of anything in life, that's just like literally a miserable spot to be in. And I hate doing it. So
Yeah,
I would make.
once your motivation to smash your girlfriend goes away, this is not me. Okay,
That's what I'm
there's
saying.
something wrong.
Dude, this is like, and people voluntarily do this and think it's like the best thing ever. Like, I
Yeah.
don't have that much of a passion for bodybuilding that I want to make those sacrifices to do it. At this point, like I said, maybe I would do it for some sort of content thing in the future. I could see that, but I don't know. I just like living my own stupid little life and driving my stupid cars and going to the gym. It's like, it makes you so
There we
happy.
go. The only thing I've seen, just kind of, this is on the topic. The only thing I've seen, so I've had a lot of people like you in terms of like coaching wise, that like, we get the first couple weeks in and they have to drop out. Like, it's affected their mental health, their work. Maybe they're a doctor, nurse. They can't function to keep people alive. Like, they're just not working properly, right? What has changed, and this is all levels, Olympia, Arnold Classic, pro, amateur, the GLP-1s have single-handedly changed the bodybuilding world forever. I've had some people that they could not follow a diet for more than 4 weeks without binge eating Taco Bell. Like, they just couldn't do it. I give them a little bit of GLP-1 and they finally were able to do a show, even though they've failed 3 years in a row. Like, I don't condone it. I don't think that's a good crutch you should be continuously relying on, but just the fact that like it's changed that is crazy. And I'm not telling you to take a GLP-1, saying hypothetically, if your issue was being hungry and like having those hunger noises, you take this drug and you're not hungry. Like, it's mind blowing. Now, there's other issues that come along with this. Obviously, it's not just side effect free, but it's just insane. It's changed the bodybuilding world forever. I have more competitors than ever that can actually make it to the stage. It's so awesome in that regard.
It's funny you say that because I am like the complete opposite. For me, the issue with dieting is not hunger based. Like, when I cut weight, I literally become like a monk. Like, I delete all food off of my Instagram, like YouTube or any social media. I
Nice.
strictly see it as fuel, and I don't associate any emotion with it. I don't look at junk food. I don't, see it. I don't do anything. I don't have and because of this, I don't really have many cravings. I've never once binged. I've never once crashed out of a diet. I've never once cheated on like a diet in like a grandiose fashion or like an unplanned thing. I've never just
Yeah.
eaten a ton. the thing that sucks for me is like the mental part, like not feeling like myself mentally, having the brain fog, having the sleep, having no motivation, having shitty workouts. That is the part that sucks for me. And unfortunately, like a GLP wouldn't help that. Like it's just a nutrient thing. It's just a food thing. It's just a
Yeah.
calories thing. Like if I don't have enough calories, I feel like shit. And that's the issue. Like I've
Yeah.
conquered the food part. And plus, like a lot of it is genetic too. Like I just don't have a gigantic appetite in general.
Yeah.
So I'm like very gifted as far as that front, but other than that, like I am so iron-willed that if I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. Like I see that all the time too. People will post on their social media, I'm doing a show and they drop out. I'm like, dude, that is embarrassing. Like, how can you let yourself do that? Like, how can you
Yeah.
not be a man of your word? Like, I
Unless
would
you got
never do
injured
that.
or something like that, you have no excuses. Unless it's financial or injury,
Yes.
you just dropped out because you're hungry. No, not acceptable.
Exactly.
Not
Like
acceptable.
I'm telling you, like honestly, I've never once cheated on my diet when I've done a diet. I've never once went like, I want to eat today, like I'm gonna do it. Like I've never once done that. But it's just like the nutrient thing, like just not feeling like myself is the worst part.
Yep. We'd have to pound you full of vitamins. So where you'd probably shine is obviously you're not hopping on drugs, but where I've had people in that scenarios, they have to do either testosterone. Like when you have testosterone, the male hormone, you feel drastically better. Because usually when we cut down, our testosterone goes low. You know, I've seen it get as low as 75 to 100, even as a natural.
Yeah.
So that shit crashes. But you get on testosterone. If you don't want to do that, the half natty route would be like the enclomiphene 8CG, where like your balls are not shut off. You're telling your brain to tell your balls to produce more testosterone. That really fills in the gap. You're still cheating. You cannot do the natural league. But if you were ever trying to cut and you didn't want to do steroids, like that does fill the gap really well without shutting you down. So, you know, add that to your 2028 to-do list, you know, down the line.
Yeah. The thing is though, like, I don't even want to cut. Like that's the whole part is I like just being my, like, whatever body fat I'm at now. So it's like, I see what you're saying.
If you have abs, that's it. Like you don't have to have 5% abs. You could be 12 to 14% and you'll look better than 98% of the population. So like, you're good, you know?
I would say that's where I'm at now. Like right now, I'm right on this like razor thin line where I'm maintaining the leanest physique I can with still feeling good. And if I go, like, if I have a low day of eating or I forget to eat or, you know, just something isn't on point the day before, I can instantly feel it the next day, which is how I know I'm like riding that razor thin line. Like I have no margin of error. And it sucks because I'm not even that lean. There are people way fucking leaner than me. But I think this is just one, like the reality of being natural. And two, it's just like my genetics. Obviously, some people can be leaner than me and be fine. But like over the last couple of years, I've become so in tune with my body that I've really noticed, like if I get any leaner than this currently, I feel it right away. Like it suffers. Like I feel like shit.
What's your ethnic background? Like I know like you have whiter skin, but like what's your background?
Bro, pretty much just white, like some Italian. That's kind of it. Gotcha. Mostly just white. Bro, mixed cracker.
Sorry, bro. I'm half white. It's okay. No, the only reason I ask is because sometimes too, man, like certain ethnicities, it's kind of hard to like pinpoint Italian, but I'll be like, oh, let's just pick, you know, major races. So Brazilian, Black, Native American, Indian, like they all have such differences. And some of my white guys, they could build muscle really easy. They could cut pretty easy, but sometimes they don't have pretty muscle, you know, like every ethnicity has something unique about them and they could die harder than others. But I don't know where I was going with this, but I was curious what your ethnicity was. You know, I was like, oh, maybe he has this ethnicity, maybe he's mixed with Native American, that's why, you know, cutting is hard or something, you know. But either way, I'm just curious.
I mean, you're totally right. Maybe it's an ethnicity thing or a lifestyle thing, but you know, some ethnicities have a lot tougher time losing weight than others. What is it? Isn't it like Samoans are the highest body fat percentage?
Samoans.
Like, or versus like Black people seem to always be jacked. Like they just have, you know, it's just some sort of difference, whether it be lifestyle or genetics or whatever. It's just, everyone's different.
Yep. I mean, how many bodybuilders do you see that are Tongan, Samoan, like that? You just don't see it. I know one pro, and he worked with a Team Ventura a couple years back. He was the only like Samoan, Tongan, that type of build I've seen.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, I guess you're right. Did he get lean?
Not common, man.
Was he able to get lean?
He got his pro card. He's an IFBB pro. He's the only one I've ever seen ever. Like in my history Bible, he's the only one. I was like, man, he's got the Polynesian tattoo. His parents look, I don't know which one he was, Tongan, I don't know, but he had that Islander look. I was like, that's awesome. Cool. I've never seen one ever. You know, when you think about it, you know, there's certain ethnicities that you just don't see. How many Native American pros do you know? How many Tongan, Samoan? You know, I know maybe 4 or 5 like Mexican pros. Like there's not a lot in certain ethnicities, but you know, be different. You can do it.
Yeah,
no
I
matter who
never
you
even thought
are.
about that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
you can extrapolate that to every sport. You know, how many world record runners aren't Kenyan or something? I'm sure, like
yeah,
whatever
of course.
everyone's DNA is, we have a certain advantage and disadvantage to each sport. So
Yep.
so interesting.
Yeah, when you have like $500 to blow and you really care enough, so like DNA, like the
Yeah,
31 and
yeah,
me or whatever whatever that one's
yeah.
called.
23.
Sorry, 23. I was like, I definitely said the wrong name. But 23 and me. So that's like the basic ones, right? But they have like really hardcore genetic testing ones that'll tell you have this many fat twitch muscle fibers, this many slow twitch, you have this, you're prone to heart disease, things like that. When I was going through my health
Mhm.
issues a while back, they wanted to check everything about me and know every single thing about me. And supposedly I'm prone to never be a long distance runner, and I'm prone to have a heart attack if I've used too much caffeine. So I no longer abuse caffeine, but
Oh,
you
there
can
you
find out
go.
all these cool things about your genetics. Maybe for you, you're meant to be a track star sprinter and you just don't know it.
Mine actually said really good at social media posting. That's crazy. Like,
Really good food reviewer.
no, you're right. It's funny. I did a similar version of that. I think it was like a hair follicle thing.
Mm,
And it came back like, ooh, sensitive to red meat and milk. I'm like, bro, I eat that shit every day. I was like, I'm
yeah,
not sensitive to this. It was like,
that's my
okay,
number
clearly.
one food of choice.
Yeah, I was like, clearly this is not accurate. But that was just a hair thing. I'm sure they've got more
Yeah,
accurate
of
blood
course.
samples and stuff like
Yeah, if
that.
you're ever interested in, I'll find the name if you want to do it. It's just a cool series because
Yeah.
I found out that I was 51% Irish from Ireland and
Wow.
49% Nigerian something. And I was like,
No
okay, I knew I
way.
was black and white, but I didn't know like I had nothing else in me. I'm just a redhead with Akon. That's it. I'm an Akon redhead.
Wait, is that means your mom has to be like 100% one, and then your dad has to be
Yeah,
100% the
they're
other,
pretty
pretty
much
much, right?
full blood ginger redhead, my mom, and then like full like dark skinned black dad. So I came out brown.
That is so funny.
It was interesting, But not
Cool
nonetheless,
to
last
see.
couple of questions. I don't want to
Mhm.
hold you here forever. So still finishing with fitness, and I have a car question later, but
Yeah.
we talked about this briefly. How do you feel about the next generation of people who are rushing on steroids, peptides,
Mhm.
GLP-1s? I know how I feel about it, but how do you feel about that, being that you are natural? Maybe what have you seen in the fitness industry and how they're using this as like a crutch to get more views or likes, whatever. So dive into that.
I think it's so unfortunate, obviously, because they're sacrificing their health at an earlier and earlier age for size and like vanity and stuff. And it's even more of a bummer. Like, this goes back to like blaming the person. Like, in a way, you can't really blame the person because they're getting rewarded for their behavior. Like, you have to blame the people watching. Kind of like at the end of the day, all these OnlyFans girls, you can't blame the girls. You have to blame the men for buying it because
I
without the
agree.
men purchasing it, like they have no industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Exactly.
kind of like the same thing. Like a lot of the blame goes on the people because they just want to see a bigger freak, a larger person, a leaner guy. And it's such a shame because, like you said earlier, you rarely see anyone ever compete for more than 5 years. So you
Yep.
often hear these kids use the excuse, I want to be an IFBB pro. I want to be Mr. Olympia. It's like, well, if you look at the Mr. Olympia, like you said, they only compete for 5 years and then they crash out, or, they literally have to retire or they're going to risk their health. And it almost doesn't matter when those 5 years are. It seems to be, you can do it from 20 to 25, you can do it 25 to 30, 30 to 35.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't necessarily, one isn't necessarily better than the other. And I don't think there's any benefit to starting earlier like these guys because they're just going to crash out sooner. I actually think there's probably a bigger negative to start when you're young like them.
Yeah. So following up to that, like I've seen this dozens of times on a monthly basis in just my 11 years of coaching. But like I've said, like I don't mind people using steroids. Like if you want to do it, that's up to you. Just understand you're taking probably 10 to 15 years off the later half of your life. You usually don't
Yeah.
take steroids and to die. That's not really how it works. But let's say that you are 18. Let's say that you were going to die at 90. Maybe now you're going to die at 75, because you did. And I took very poor cycles. I did trend my first cycle. Don't be like me. But I had really poor advice. But like most people were taking these obnoxious cycles from like 16 to 19 with no guidance. They found it on Reddit. They found some other random thing. And they're like, hey, Kodi, I'm pissing blood. I'll go
Yeah.
through some super really bad things I've seen over the past couple years, especially just TikTok DMs. I'm pissing blood. I have kidney failure. My eye vision is shot because I've used a bunch of a SARM called S4. And like all these crazy issues. I look at their page, class of 2027. Classes, and that's not class of 2027 college. That's high school. So like it'll be 16 and 19-year-old kid just like really jacked up. I'm like, you didn't even get a chance to compete yet. You're just a
Yeah.
random gym bro with a stringer at Arizona State lifting. Like, that's crazy. So I don't know. I guess I see both sides. Like, I get why they do it. Like you said, you're going to get views, you're going to get clicks, you're going to get that contract with your favorite clothing company. But like, what are you going to do when you have health issues? The only reason that I'm alive to this day is that I have really good incomes coming from my businesses, and that was able to pay off my medical bills. If I was broke and just a dead broke bodybuilder or a dead broke college kid, I would be dead, you know?
Yeah.
So same thing happens when you have health issues of liver, kidney, things like that. So that's my only thing. Wait until you're older, please. Wait until your brain matures. 23 and up would be ideal. That's all I got.
No, I 100% agree. And I think it's just because of like the physique inflation. Like when I don't know how you were. How old are you again? You're probably my age, like 30ish.
I'm 31.
Yeah, I'm 29. So when I was a kid in high school, there wasn't many people that lifted. Like, I think
No.
if you benched 225 in high school, you were like a beast. You were like
Yes.
insane. But now
Yes.
it's like, bro, this is the standard. This is, basically the bar. So kids nowadays feel like they're behind when they have normal genetics. When they're built like I am or whatever. Like if I, went back in time or whatever, and now if I was in high school now, I'd feel so incredibly behind and a loser. And I'm not even a millionaire yet. I don't even have one singular Lamborghini, and I don't have a Corsa, and I'm not jacked. Like I would feel so behind.
Yes.
So the pressure is probably higher than ever for them to take something because they feel like they have to catch up when in reality, everyone, there's so many people in their shoes.
Yeah, I think it's just the social media, man. I mean, so let's see here. I'm 31, you're 29. Where are you from originally? Are you from the Bay?
Sacramento.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you lived in a bigger city than I did, but I lived in Pacifica, which is right outside of San Francisco, Daly City. But regardless, like I could count on one hand how many rich friends I had and how many buff friends I had. Like there was none, right? It was mostly due to my demographic of the area. But like I meet people out here nowadays, like let's say clients that are 18 and 19, bro, they could get their pro card in the next like 6 months. How many people did you know that were open bodybuilders at 18? I couldn't even name one, like the inflation is real. I even have 18-year-old clients selling on Etsy, selling courses, making 50K a month. It's like, bro, I know most adults that are never even going to crack 10K a month. And we have like, so I'm sure like that style of content being forced in your feed every day has to just destroy your brain and make you want to sell out, make you want to do crazy shit. Like versus we didn't have that. I didn't at least,
I didn't either. I grew up in a similar state that you did. There was probably only a handful of people in my high school that lifted. No one posted about it. No one took it really that seriously. And they were probably mostly athletes anyways. It just wasn't like a thing. Like, I mean, I didn't start lifting till after high school, till I was 18 years old. So like, it's so funny. And like, no one made any money. No one really had any like hustles back in the day. We just were kids. We just did funny stuff. We just hung out. I don't know.
So I have a follow-up question for you because we're the same age, and I'm assuming your family's alive. Hopefully, mom, dad, grandparents, whatever. Do your parents ever have a hard time understanding what do you do? Like, how do you make money? How do you have Lambo money? Like, do they ever question like, "Hey, man, like you don't have a job. What do you do?"
Well, at first, yes, but then I explained it to them, and they're like always been very supportive of me, so they kind of like caught on pretty quick, and then. Somehow my mom found my social media, so she just like watched all my videos, so she kind of like understood in a way. And obviously I broke it down for them and stuff because I was living with them when I first started social media, so I kind of like had to talk about it or whatever. They found it or their friend mentioned it or what it popped up somehow, so I had to explain it to them. And at the time, obviously, I was trying to quit my job. I was working as an engineer, and I wanted to quit my job to pursue social media. So I'd tell them, here's how much money I'm making. Here's, the income stream, blah, blah, blah. This is why I want to quit. I feel like I could, improve upon these if I had more time and energy to put into it. And that kind of broke it down for them. So that made them understand it better.
Gotcha. Yeah. Even to this day, like my mom would say, 'cause me and my mom are very close. But sometimes I'll talk to one of my cousins or like other family members who are like, what? You're a talking head on the screen. How do you have a Lamborghini? Like it's hard to explain to them that like I coach some of the most famous influencers, famous movie stars all over the world. Like that's my job. And like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you just like review like gyms,
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain to people how income comes if you don't have a 9-to-5 job, but
the crazy one for me was when I went to like an accountant 2 years ago and she like could not fathom how I made money. Like just didn't even understand. I was like, dude, you're like you haven't seen a single one of me out there. Like you're an accountant that serves many clients. Like, and I tried to explain it to her like a salesperson, like if you sell cars, you get a commission of the pay cut, blah, blah, blah. And she like still didn't understand it. I'm like, dude, I'm never
Yep.
coming to you again. Like this is like you're like, if you can't put like, you know, two and two together like this, I don't want you managing my money or whatever.
It's hilarious you said that, man. I have a really good CPA now. I had one for a while and I kind of outgrew her. Like she wasn't able to
Mhm.
keep up with what I was doing. So I went to a new one and they told me on the interview call, they understand what I do. So I started doing my taxes. This is 2025 last year.
Yeah.
And they're like, so where's the income coming from? I was like, well, I told you I'm sponsored by him, sponsored by
Yeah.
him, sponsored by him. And then like I sell coaching and all this online. They're like, okay, but like, who's your boss? Like, who do I get? I was like, no, I don't have a boss.
It's me.
You told
I
me you
am the
worked with
boss.
influencers before.
It's yeah, people,
So,
bro.
but now CPA is amazing. One of the I've sent her all my millionaire friends. She's amazing. You ever need CPA? She knows her shit. Very expensive, very
Shit.
expensive, but you'll be good to go either way. Last couple questions. I'm done with this here. Let's see. So somebody asked you earlier, are you paid off by Big Soda since you preach diet soda so much?
So I actually was. The funny thing about this is I deadass got paid by Big Soda. It was some government entity or something. It was like, I can't remember the name, but it was basically like safety of drinks. And they're like, hey, will you make, you know, videos about how sweeteners are safe to use and consume? I was like, yes, of course. I make these videos for free all the time. I will gladly take your money. So I think we ended up on like a 7-post deal for like 14 grand. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like I do the shit for free. And I think I only posted like 5 and they said, okay, that's good enough. And then they sent me the money. And it was basically just like diet sodas are safe to drink, guys. It was the easiest money I have ever made. And those are the deals I love because it's a product I 100% believe in. I 100% believe sweeteners are safe to consume. I drink them every single day. I will gladly take as much money as you want to pay me.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the benefit of once you start growing your following is you get really cool ads. I've rejected, same as you, 99% of my ads. I got this computer hookup the other day. It was amazing. Got some new headphones, everything I was going to buy anyway. And I think my favorite ad, I think it was $2,000. Have you ever been like on a bike desk where it's a bike, but it has a desk on top?
Oh yeah. Like
I was looking for one because I'm usually typing or on a call like I am now, but like I'm on a desk. It's like, why can't I do both? And they're like, oh, we'll give you $2,000 and a $500 bike desk. It's like, hell yeah. Whether anybody else buys it or not, I want it, you know? So you're bound to find something that you want and that you actually believe in because I don't know.
Exactly. It's so nice, dude. Those deals are the best because it's like, yeah, I use this. Like I had a deal last month for Panda Express. I love Panda Express. I've been eating there for years, dude. I've been eating there for so long. Like, please.
Yeah,
I talk about them all the time.
Anybody who's listening, you know, it's not always about just getting a supplement sponsor. There is a lot of random things out there that like I don't smoke weed, but I've had such an obnoxious amount of people being like, we'll give you $3,000 a month of weed pens or vape pens, whatever. It's like, I mean, no, but for someone else who wants that, it's a really good deal, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like and that one actually showed too, which is really cool because I posted the Panda thing, and everyone's like, "Well, he actually loves Panda." Like this is better. Like people in the comments recognized that I talked about them so many times, and they came back and they were super supportive, which was awesome because hopefully that makes them come back in the future because it shows I'm a genuine fan of the product and what I'm promoting.
Of course, I'm waiting for the I'm waiting for the Chipotle collab, bro. When they're gonna hook you up, get you a nice big bowl on camera, you know.
I would take a Chipotle collab too. Even though they're expensive and stuff, I'll take their money. They got good food.
Right. All right. So finishing up here, this is all the fitness stuff I want to cover. Oh, I want to leave it open to you really quick. Is there any question from me about anything or anything you want to go over from my point of view before we move on to cars that has nothing to do with fitness?
I think we covered everything. Let's hit the cars, bro. I love cars. I like talking about cars more than fitness.
All right. So first off, let's go over what do you have at the moment. You're my fellow Lamborghini owner.
Yes.
But I guess go over what you have and then maybe what your dream car is or any plans you have car wise specifically. No more fitness. Solely car time.
So I have 2003 Nissan Frontier, my first car ever. It was a hand-me-down from my brother. It's a truck. Still have that. I'm trying to get rid of it. I've got a 2012 Porsche Cayenne Turbo. I just picked that up last year. Now for the fun cars, I've got a 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo manual. And then for my big one, my favorite, I've got a 2003 Lamborghini Murcielago manual as well. So those are my cars. That's the fleet as of now. And I love everyone but the truck.
For those who don't know, what is the retail looking like for the those Lambos? Because like it's obviously not a 2025, whatever. Like what is the price going for older Lambos like that?
So I paid 100 grand for my red car, my Gallardo.
Mhm.
At the time, they maybe they're worth a little more now. I traded my yellow. I had a different Lamborghini before this. I traded my yellow plus a bunch of cash on top of that for my yellow one for my Murcielago, and that
Mhm.
probably is worth at least $300,000 now. I would say,
That's
and
awesome, man.
bought it a year
That's
ago.
such
So, dude,
people forget that like classics sell really well, you know, like that's more that's what an Evo costs, you know, like that's
yeah,
more than Evo.
yeah. I mean, mine are cheap too. Like there was a yellow one like mine a couple years later, but it
Yeah.
sold for 600. It had like almost no miles, like 8,000. It sold for like 660,000 a couple months ago on Bring a Trailer. So that was like a new high sale in the last couple of years, which is crazy. But yeah, people love these things. I mean, I like them too.
Would you ever get a newer car? So let's say like I have a 23 STO before I had a
Mhm.
23 Evo. Would you ever go Evo, STO, one of the 2015 older models of it, SVJs, or anything that you'd ever be like, I want to have that one day, even if it's for a short time and you sell it? There's that doesn't interest you.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to try every car. For me, the cars I want to keep are like a manual. Like I love manual cars. They're so fun
Yeah.
and engaging to drive, but I would love to try something new. The thing that keeps me from buying something new is like the depreciation. Like
Oh
obviously it's
yeah.
not as bad with like our car or your car
Yeah.
specifically, but if I were to buy a car for like 200 grand and like next year it's worth 150, I'm like, ooh, that sucks. That's terrible, you know?
Yes.
Like I don't like stomaching that depreciation, but when I'm rich enough, I would love to afford that luxury. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to get whatever new V12 Lamborghini is. Like if I had all the money in the world, I would have been like one of the first people to get a Revuelto. Like I think they're so
Yep.
cool. So one day, yes.
I'm cheap, man. I don't know what it is. I mean, like I'm like you. I'm scared to lose money. I remember when
Hmm.
you saw. I think you've seen both my cars, or maybe you saw one of them.
Yeah,
I know you
yeah.
saw
I've
my
seen it
first
both.
one. Yeah. So the for the Evo. So I got it for 312. Right. Like
Hmm.
it just came. It had like 200 miles. I got it from a famous poker player in like Houston. But either
Oh,
way, so I got it for 312. I put 2,500 miles on it in a year. I sold it for 310. So like
see,
I
there you
lost
go.
2K. I mean, besides insurance and all the
Yeah,
tax,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but like I lost 2K technically. And I was like, that's amazing. Like I put over 2,000 miles in a supercar and I sold it. And then my car now, I got it for 373 and it's worth 420, 430. So it's like you could get the right car, make money, or at
Yeah.
least, lose a couple grand versus like we were saying, you get like a brand new BMW M3. It's amazing. It's brand new off the lot. You just lost 30K, you know?
Yeah.
So like imagine you
Uh,
had a supercar for a year, you lose 3, 4, 5, 6K, or you buy a different car and you lost 30K. Like it's insane, you know? Car
Yeah,
hacking.
those are obviously the cars I like to buy because I hate losing money. Like I'm so cheap
Yes.
like you. So that prevents me from buying like the brand new stuff. Like I would like a brand new car, but like I just
Yeah, of
don't want to
course.
lose all that much money and everything. And it's a lot easier said than done. Like I think a part of our situation is we got a little bit lucky, you know, of
Yeah,
like
of
the
course.
situation. So it's not like an exact science. You can in a sense hedge your bets and try to pick cars that won't at least go down that much. I
Yeah.
think that's much more of a science than saying you can make money on every
Yeah, of
car. So
course.
yeah,
It's
but
about the color. It's about the spec. You got to know
yeah,
the details.
there's a
It's not,
lot of
I want
things.
that white Lambo over there. That's not how it works. No, you can't
There's a
just buy
lot
a
of
random
thing.
car.
There's a lot of things that go into it for sure. And yeah, like you said, I try to lose as least money as possible. And that's what it's crazy. People think we're wild for buying these cars, but in reality, they don't end up costing us that much. And in some cases, you can make money on it. So like, who's the financially irresponsible one now?
Right? Yeah, just
Yeah.
just just using my ST and same for your car. Like for my STO, for example, I'm gonna make at least 10K. Like it could
Yeah.
go as high as 50. I don't know, but like I could
Yeah.
make 10K today, no questions
Hmm.
asked. And not on top of that, like so my Evo, I don't know what it is. For those of you guys who don't have a Lambo, Evo is the base model one. So it's almost like 1.0, 2.0, SVJ, etc. I got hated on so much for my Evo. Like people are like, oh, you got the base model? That's a piece of shit. You couldn't even get the STO or the SVJ. And like it would happen all the time, even in
That
car
is
shows in person.
crazy.
It's it to my face, mostly kids. But now with the STO, people drop their pants, bro. Like men,
Really?
women, like they're like, oh my god, what is that thing? Given they've never seen one, with the body kit. And now like that got me into connection with other random people. Some of the connections I don't want. I don't really want to go to a Diddy party, but like I've been invited to crazy stuff just because I have an STO. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane, man. Certain cars, like it made me money. It gave me more business connections, gave me more resources, and like that's worth more than the car is to me. Little things like
Yeah.
that.
You're right. Like it's funny. People take me like so much more serious now. Now they want my opinion on this. Now they want my opinion on that. Or like now, like you said, I'm invited to all these parties. I get to go to cool rich people's houses and stuff. And it's like, damn, like I'm the same dude, bro. I got the same opinions. Now I just have the car. And like now you don't want to fuck with me. It's funny, but yeah, I'm definitely in like the same route too. Like especially if I were to ever meet another guy like with my car, like a Murcielago, like we're pretty much
Mhm.
instantly like bros. And there it's a small community for sure, especially like around here. Like one of my friends, he lives, only a couple miles away. He's got an Aventador, and he's like really successful doctor guy, and where he wants to kick it all the time. And like,
Yeah.
and it's only because of cars and stuff that we made that connection. But he's like a great, funny guy. It's like so glad I met him and wouldn't have had the opportunity if I didn't have my car.
So let's go over the negatives though. And I'm not talking
Mhm.
about the cars breaking down. That's obviously a negative.
Yeah.
But I did hit a speed bump the other day and crack my rim and pop my tire. That's
Uh,
insurance. I got the wheel insurance. It was
yeah.
free. But nonetheless, let's talk about the negatives in terms of how people treat you in a negative manner. So if you want me to go first, I can. If you want to go first, but anything that comes negative about having a supercar, whether people think you're going to be like a cocky asshole or like,
Yeah.
they treat you differently, just anything you've noticed. And I have a couple stories in mind as well.
I would say like obviously like when you go out in public, just like everyone looks like everywhere, like and they always like everyone wants like a handout now. So like if I stop at
Mhm.
gas station, people are always asking for money. So I was like, dude, sometimes I
Yeah.
just don't want to be sometimes I just want to, go to the gym and not like have a conversation or be bothered. Or sometimes I want to go here without an issue. But obviously I understand that when buying the car, it's like a very privileged position to be in. So it's like definitely worth it and accepting. I would say like the annoying thing of the negative is just like everyone asking for like a handout. Like someone's always like, "Hey, do can you come give me a ride an hour away, please, please, please?" I'm like, bro, I don't want to. I don't know what are you talking about? Like, I would love to give people a ride, but like going an hour away and doing all this stuff, it's a pain, bro. Like, I just want to enjoy my car in peace. and
What about
I
content wise? Do people ever clap back at you about like you being a Lambo owner? Like, oh, you can't afford that car. That's why you need to promote this on TikTok shop. Have you ever got like anything? I've never got that, but I've seen in people's comments before.
I haven't gotten that exactly. I guess I did get every once in a while someone will say like, "Oh, you have old Lambos, like you have old ones, you couldn't afford the new ones," or vice versa. Sometimes people will say like, "Oh, base model Gallardo, you don't even have the
Yeah,
doors that go up," stuff like that. So
got
a
it.
little bit like that, but it's all it's all just cope.
My favorite is when you'll go to their profile, right? And they'll be like, oh, just for example, for me, they're like, oh, you got an STO, why didn't you get the SVJ? As if like they're
Yeah,
the same price point, or as if
yeah,
they're 300,000 or 400,000, not the same as like 800,000, right? It's not the same thing. But I'll
yeah,
go to their car and it'll be a clapped out Infiniti G35. I'm like, all right, bro, you couldn't even get a Camaro SS and you're talking shit to me.
It-
Come on.
I think it's because people loop every supercar owner into the exact same category. They all think we're like the equal amount of rich. Like if you
Yeah,
have, a Audi R8, you could probably afford SVJ. It's like no, this guy could have, saved for 5 years or 10 years and then splurged and also got a loan on the car and barely been able to afford it. And
yeah,
and like this is the maximum he's amount. He could be living paycheck to paycheck with an
yeah,
R8 or whatever. It's just they group everyone in the same category. Like
yes.
they just think rich. That's all
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, or it's like let's say in the Mustang world, right? Like, oh, you got a Mustang GT, why didn't you get the Shelby? Like
Yeah,
that college kid probably saved every dollar he had to get that $40,000 car. 85,000 is not in his ballpark. It's just
yeah,
something that most people will never be able to achieve in their lifetime. But I
exactly.
guess what I was connecting all this to was at least in my coaching world. So I don't tell people I have supercars. I don't. I'll give them my team page. I'll never give them my like Kodi page and
Yeah,
my
yeah,
Lambo page. Because I've had people in the past are like, "Oh, you're one of those coaches." It's like, what does that even? That's a very subjective phrase. Like, what does that even mean? They're like, "Oh, like you must sell a course. You must do this." I'm like,
yeah,
well, no, I don't. I just coached a lot of bodybuilders for the past 10 years, so I saved up every dollar invested. Like, no, I don't know. I feel like you're scamming me or something. It's like I just get a really bad reputation when they find out
yeah.
I'm a coach with a supercar. So none of them know unless like they already know me, But like referral wise, no.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You just get like judged. I mean, this is a crying, whatever silver tears or whatever they say. But it's
Right.
like, dude, I just want to be able to. I just like cars, and I want to be able to enjoy my car. Like, why do we have to do all this, song and dance and think I'm this sort of person or I'm that sort of person? It's like, dude, I just like cars. Like, I
Yep.
don't know what else to say.
Yep. My
Like,
last thing here. So I mostly get people begging me for money in real life. But
yeah,
have you ever had friends, family, acquaintances like begging you for money once you got a Lambo, or is that just a me thing?
no, I would say not in person as far as like friends and family.
Mhm.
Maybe I just got lucky with like the friends and family that I have, but I
Yeah.
could see that like definitely online a lot. But I don't know. I try to make it like very clear and like everywhere that like I super stretched to get these cards. And, like this is all my money and stuff. So don't be asking me for any other shit because
Right.
this is all I got, you know? But I'm trying to think. Yeah, and that part's really annoying too. I'm sure you feel it too. It's like, dude, like tell me your stories about it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not my immediate family, my immediate best friend group. Like they're all good. They're
Yeah.
successful. They have everything going on. And my family may not be rich. We're actually relatively broke, but
Hmm.
they're hooked up because of me. But like I'll have cousins or cousins of cousins or step cousins, like people that like we're still family kind of, but like we don't know each other.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, bro, I heard you got a Lambo. Like I need you to come pull up and like show it to the kids in like our project apartment. Like, well, no, I can't go drive to East Oakland and drive my Lambo there, bro. Like I appreciate it, but deep down I
Yeah.
can't do that. Just little favors that like are just so not a possibility, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or just like, oh hey man, like I'm gonna be dropping a clothing company, like
Oh
some
yeah.
random company. It'd be cool if you fronted me 20 bands. I know it's nothing to you. You have a Lambo. It's like that's just
No.
not a realistic thing to ask someone. So that's pretty frequent though. I'll have a lot of random and I had a lot of friends in college, undergrad and grad school,
Hmm.
just like randomly reach out, have a talk to him or her in 5 years, 6 years. They're like, hey bro, I need 10K for this. And it's usually men too. People joke about women asking for money. I know a lot more gold digging dudes than I do women.
Yeah, dude, it's true. It's so sad. It's just like I hate that aspect of it. Obviously, it's like worth it, but that's just people like that made me so mad because I would when I had like $0. I'm sure you were the same way. When I was broke,
Of
you
course.
would never ask for anyone. You would never ask for a
No.
handout or like it's just I'm not that type of person. I would never ever do that, no matter how much money someone had. Like, and
Yeah.
no matter how little I had. And it's just
Yeah.
people are so just quick to do that. It's so annoying.
My ego would never let me do that.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
think I can ever, unless I'm dying. I don't think I'd ask for help for anything.
Yeah.
We're guys,
Like
bro. That's just how we're wired.
even when I was like 19 years old in college, I'd go to the car shows. I wouldn't even want to like talk to the owners because I didn't want to bother them. Like I'm just like, you guys are so, your time is very important. Mine is not. Like, I just want to look at it. Like if that's more than enough.
Oh, last question. I think I'm
Yeah.
done here. So speaking of car shows, have you ever had to yell at someone for sitting on your car? Or like doing
Oh,
something like trying to force the way sitting in your car? Hey man, can you rev it for me? Anything that's like them asking for something about your car.
yeah. When I had like did a photo shoot downtown Sacramento with one of my buddies here, and like I don't know what it was. Every like 10 minutes, someone was like stopping and asking to like take a picture or something. And I'm always very like chill, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
of
of
course, blah
course.
blah blah, all this stuff. Like more than willing to offer it up for them. But then like it was getting dark, and we were trying to like take these I mean, he was trying to take these one pictures, and these like two women pulled up, like very sketchy looking women, and they're like, "Oh shit, the Lambo!" Like, oh my, like freaking out, like, can I take a picture? All this stuff, and she starts like twerking all over it and like rubbing her like I have videos of this. I'll send it to you after this. Rubbing her bare ass like all over my cars, and I'm like, oh my! I was like, I thought you were just gonna take a picture around it, like you know what I'm saying? And
Oh, I
like
don't want pink eye, but thank
dude,
you.
it was like all over. And then like some random like cameraman came around on like a Segway and like started filming them and like taking pictures of this shit. It would have been one thing if it was quick, but this went on for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, I was like, I gotta go. So I was like, I was just told him, I was like, oh, I gotta leave. And then so I go to get in my car and obviously I pop the doors up. And like, oh, the doors go up. And just like it just got even worse, like at every moment. And then like some single mom brought her kid over and was like, it was a crowd. I'll send you the videos after this, but it was ridiculous. It was like, I'm like, oh my
I'll
God.
check that.
Like
That's viral content right there, bro. It's viral
I
content
didn't
right
even
there.
post it, but I need to. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. It was wild. And I'm like, holy shit, like I've never gotten so much attention from a car before. This was wild.
So I'll try and make these stories super quick so we
Hmm.
can finish up here. But I have a couple. So the most common one is like you said, single moms or women with kids, and they'll try to like flirt with me to get their kids to go in the car. I'm like, you don't have to say anything. I'll let your like 5-year-old kid sit in my car, right? Like I don't care. Let me put some hand sanitizer on his hand so he doesn't get sticky shit in my Alcantara steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
Right ahead. But I let kids go on all the time. Now
Yeah.
where it gets trippy or where it gets tricky is the dads, like just a random dude by himself. Like at least I take my car out every Saturday and mandatory, right? Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go to the gas station, go somewhere, park up at the beach or something, and I'll have a random like grown man, not a 20-year-old, like 30, 40, 50-year-old man. Like, can I get inside? I was like, no, man, like I just don't like adults in my car. It's just a liability. They're like, well,
Yeah.
if I had one, I'd let you do it. Like, okay, you don't, but like, and like, don't get the craziest attitude, man. Like, oh, let me
Yeah.
get in your car. Well, no.
Yeah.
So that's the main one. I'd say the women aspect. I mean, you have a girlfriend now, but I would say The women aspect is very wild. I've had women try and throw the relationship away to try and smash me in the Lambo, or like they'll DM me something so out of pocket. I'm like, your military husband's literally on your Instagram saying like, can I blow you in the Lambo? And like, there's such out of pocket stuff. Even
so
my last story in person, this was out at Rancho Santa Fe, this months ago. I haven't gone in a while, but I went there and there was a group of like 2 blonde chicks there, right? Maybe like 20s around there. And like, I was walking back to my car and they're in front of me and they're like, oh, this guy's Instagram's on his side. Let's follow him because my Instagram's on my window. Let's follow him. They didn't see me yet. And they're like, oh, we should like ask him on a date, like finesse him, like just, you know, be a sugar baby, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's my car. They're like, oh, that's cool. Do you have an Instagram? I was like, no, that's not mine. I don't run it.
Yeah, bro. That's why I don't have my Instagram on my car.
By random women.
That's why I do not have my Instagram anywhere on my car, bro. I don't want to deal with all that shit. All that. Right? Oh my God. So much of that stuff. Honestly, I haven't had too much like women interest in my car. Maybe it's because I just talk about like, I don't know, it's just been chill for me.
I think it depends where you live too, man. Like I live in 100%. Miami 2.0. So like people 100%. Here just like they're tricks for most women. Like they'll blow a lot of money on people that aren't dating them. So yeah, different mindset here than 100%. Sacramento, I would say. Yep.
For sure.
Right. But that's pretty much all I had for you, man. Well, first off, tell everybody where they could find you at social media wise. Any shout outs to your sponsors or anything you have here? Let's finish off with that first.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere at the THE Nutrition Narc, NARC. It's pretty much it, bro. That's easy. You can find everything else there if you want to follow me.
Awesome. And I'll put you in the comments too so they can find you. But
appreciate
either way,
you,
man. Thanks again for hopping on. And we covered cars to David Barr to this. Was all over the place. It was an amazing conversation. And if you guys don't follow me, shoot me a follow as well. Kodi Dial. I try to have an episode every week with anybody you can imagine. So Team Dial to the moon.